Things are scary, but we don't have to let fear call the shots. Hello, my old friend Fear. Thank you for being such a loyal companion. Watch me do it anyway. You don't get to say for me. You don't get to say. And do it anyway. We all have a to-do list in life. Things we haven't done that are still to be done. And there are things on them that scare us at varying levels. And the tendency is to do the least scary things first, right?
That's true.
Yes.
And put off the more scary things, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Feeling like, oh, at least I'm doing something, right?
Right.
But that with courage, that doesn't help us at all. Instead, what helps, because it leaves the scary thing there, and so that sensation of fear is always in our heart. Does that make sense?
That's true.
Yes. True.
Because we know the big bad, quote unquote, is still on the list, right?
Right.
And so we're still defending ourselves from the big bad, quote unquote, right?
Right.
Yes.
And what's helpful instead is to just do the scariest thing first. Just get up and do the scariest thing first thing in the morning. Get up and do the scary thing first. Boom! Out of the way. Then do the next scary thing. Boom,
Right.
boom. Then do the next scary thing. Boom, boom, boom. Just keep going through it. Always do the very scariest thing first.
Always.
I back up. When we always do the scariest thing first, we're developing fearlessness, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes. True.
And what happens is we actually start to not be afraid. To not be afraid. Fear doesn't come up. It's a paradox.
True.
That the way to become fearless is to do the scariest thing first, always. And after a while, there's just not much that scares us.
Yeah.
Everything that has to do with living a soul plan, having soul energy in the body, having connections with higher dimension beings, that's what gives life meaning.
That's true.
And I could mess all of that up by not doing enough to live my soul plan, right? I can mess it all up.
That's true.
To get to the state of being not fearful about normal things, we can get there by practicing developing a habit of courage, by practicing doing things that scare us. Paradoxically, we become fearless. That what looked like a small crying child at first is now kind of shifting to look kind of like dragony and ogre-y. It's like, I don't think that was a small crying child. I think that was a fake. I think that's a not helpful being.
Yeah.
Something bad that's pretending to be something to encourage our compassion.
Oh, yeah.
I asked, what do we do? And they say, call for St. George, because we have a dragon here.
Yeah.
Okay, so St. George, will you help us? Wow.
Holy moly.
I think that's St. George.
Yeah, it feels like an angel.
Feels, I don't know, it's something holy. It's something sacred.
Holy moly.
Holy moly. Right.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
I don't think I have either. Like heaven has opened up.
Yeah.
Something important is happening.
Holy moly.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you. So what it looks like to me is that the dragon is gone and the floor opened up and souls are being escorted up from hell and big healing is happening. I don't know how exactly that happened.
I don't know.
Does anybody else
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
huge bright light came down.
Yeah,
It was St. George, and there was a sword.
it was a sword.
And then it was like the dragon went up in a sack, and the floor opened up.
And now all these souls are just being carried out, lifted out by, it looks like, it's light beings.
It
It's
looks like
light
light
beings.
Yes, that's, yes.
Light beings are carrying them out, and they look like pale and gray and deflated, but they're souls. They're being carried out, back up, taken to a place for healing.
Big
It
horses.
feels like this has something to do with like a belief that I want to say like heaven isn't real or it's for someone else, but I'll never make it there. It's like a
Yeah. If heaven's real, then it's for somebody other than me. Right. That belief.
And there are all those souls trapped by that.
Yeah. Trapped by the belief that there's no heaven for them. If there's a heaven for someone else, surely not for them. And now we see how, look, wow, it's real.
It is real.
It's real.
Big noise.
Big noise. Horses, drumming. Action. Let's support it. Let's support it. Pulse the vortex. Run some screens. If there's cleaning up to do, it's our job to do it. If there's trash to be taken out, we are the ones. I'm so sad. There's so much sadness coming up. So sad. It's regret. It's the regret. All the regret. Friends, remember this. Hold me to my commitment, your witnesses, for a lifetime. My commitment is trigger the awakening, or all my worldly goods go to Oxfam. Okay? And actions speak louder than words, don't they?
Yes.
Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. How am I living? Call me on it. Because I want my earthly life to be in accordance with the plan. And I signed clang, clang, an ironclad contract. And I don't want to forget it. I don't want to forget it. I don't want to forget. I want to remember. I don't want to be held accountable. For real. On earth as it is in heaven, because for sure I'm held accountable for real upstairs. We all are. It's just a fantasy to think we aren't. I want to try to do away with the fantasy.
yes, that's true. You do.
I do. I really do. I don't want to live in the fantasy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Long hallway. Going down a long hallway. White hallways. A door open and poof! We're looking down into a pit and people are scrubbing the floor. And I kind of ask, what's going on? And he's saying, they need to learn it this way. It's like lives of servitude, you know? When we start to feel too, I guess, entitled, it might be the word, then lives of servitude are required. Right? It makes sense.
Right.
In many Zen traditions, the yogi chores are a big part of the work. In Zen monasteries, people spend hours scrubbing, cleaning. In Marine Corps also, the Marine Corps also, the same way. Hours, scrubbing, cleaning stuff. Everything has to be clean, 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 clean. And so to not overlook the importance of humble tasks. Evaluate for truth. Has to be shown. Is that true?
Humble tasks feels true and is important.
When we were cleaning the house this last couple weeks, we noticed this. There are lots of pretty things in that house. And by cleaning them, we felt that they belonged to us in a way that we never felt when we weren't cleaning them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
That's true.
Something just lifted.
Yeah.
You were saying that. Something lifted up.
Something the guides say. Who does the garden belong to? The landowner or the gardener?
Gardener.
The gardener. The garden belongs to the gardener, who might be an undocumented immigrant laborer, right?
Right.
But that's who really owns the garden. So who do beautiful things belong to? The person whose name is on the title, or the person who washes them and dusts them and cares for them and polishes them?
Person who cares for them.
The caretaker?
The caretaker.
The caretaker.
And so now again we're in that room with all those people on the hands and knees scrubbing the floor. And they're learning appreciation and gratitude.
I used to think when I was living in New York that if everyone who lived in New York were given like a 2x2 block of the sidewalk to care for, just that's it, just a little block, and this is your responsibility to care for this block of sidewalk, the whole city would be clean and beautiful, because not only would they have something that belonged to them to care for, but when they were walking on other people's parts of the sidewalk, they would know what it felt like to have a part of the sidewalk and they wouldn't throw things on it. If everyone had a sidewalk to care for.
And so the truth is, we have each been given a garden to tend. Right?
Right.
This is our garden. And look how we treat it. We treat it like shit, most of us, right?
Oh yeah.
We don't exercise it. We feed it garbage food. We don't tend its energy body. This is our garden to tend. Right?
Right.
And it's clearly ours, right? This is our garden. No one else's.
It's nobody else's.
Nobody else's.
We are the caretaker.
We are
Well,
the
we should be.
We should be. Because,
No one else is the caretaker.
No one else is the caretaker.
Right, no one else can do it.
No one else can do it.